Right, it's day 4 of the apocalypse, and this is my last video diary. Nah, it's not my last video diary. I'll be around for a long time. So, yes, we've been shut-ins now for 4 days, and amazingly, they didn't call for a complete lockdown of London yet, but the rumor is they'll do it Friday night. So we'll see. We of course, are reduced to eating only the finest foods, and we even have quite a few bottles of wine, which I'm sure Vox would approve of, since he's got a cellar full for a year, I think. But we're already making improvised weapons. See, what happened here was that the IKEA knives that we've had for a while, they start to disintegrate. Their handle just starts to rot, basically, and it comes off in your hands and leaves this plastic residue. So this is what it looks like once you take off the plasticky. Actually, you have to melt it off because it's a really hard plastic, and yet it peels and kind of comes off in bits and pieces, and you don't want that in your food. So a few days ago, I did the first one, and when I got it down to this spot, my wife was like, "What are you doing? I can't use that." And I was like, "Hush, woman, do not speak." And of course, later, it became this. Now, it doesn't look like much, but it's actually quite an ingenious little thing, and it's solid. This is it's not moving, it's not twigging or anything. Because what I've done, there's the next handle, and this is how it goes. But then what you do, see these little things? I cut a corresponding little groove in there, and before I slot this in, I wrap it in the same strong nylon cord, except for where these little teeth are. And now I've cut a groove in there where the teeth are, so when I slot it in, it's nice and solid, and then the wrapping on the outside catches the grooves and holds it nice and stiff. Now it looks like crap. These are just bits of stuff I had lying around. It does look like crap, but you know what? This is more comfortable to use than the original knife. So much so that my wife, who is an aesthete, she likes things to look pretty, and this definitely doesn't look pretty. But because I make the handle longer, it's I don't know, it's just more comfortable to use. I'm not really sure why, but so she's using it all the time now. So I thought, well, might as well do the other one since it's falling to bits as well. So yeah, I'm still working, but from home. So that gives me a bit more time at home, and I've got a little bit more time for these little projects, as well as playing with the kids a little bit more. So it's all good, frankly. I'm kind of set. I hope this apocalypse lasts a while. If it carries on much longer, of course, all our jobs are probably dead. But we're nicely stocked up for a few months. And hey, if I do have no more work to do from home, I'll just be able to get to those books that I haven't been able to finish. So there's a few of them that are in the works. I might just knock those out. So it's all looking pretty good. I'm enjoying the apocalypse so far. Apparently, there's reports of some zombie activity in the shops, which is why what happened. I made a couple of comments on Social Galactic about the army being tanks being in Canary Wharf. And there was the army. There are apparently tanks in Canary Wharf, or there were, but they certainly discouraged picture taking. There is something going on in the parking lots of Canary Wharf. I don't know if they're setting up, testing stations or facilities or what. I don't know. But they're obviously gearing up. It's not martial law. Finland declared martial law 2 days ago. So we're not under martial law yet. And they are talking about having an extra hour in the morning, the first hour being for shoppers and so on that are 70 and over, because the old people need some help and they're slower and so on. And it's a good thing. And of course, you will need the army, you will need the police and whatever to control people. If riots start, crime kicks off, the desperate people start to become violent or whatever. So, what people don't realize, like, oh, you're just, it's the same fucking story from the beginning, right? Because I've been gearing this up for a while. And, people I know, people at work, whatever, random people just say, oh, you're just being paranoid. Oh, look at you, you tinfoil hat maniac. And I'm like, yeah. We'll talk in about 3 weeks. Sure enough, 3 weeks later, it's like, oh, you were right. You did the right thing. And it's not one person that's been telling me this. I got to admit that the people that have said that, good on them, because they've actually owned up to their own error, really. But it doesn't make me feel any better. I would have much preferred if they'd listened to me when I told them, get ready. Also because people have no idea, none, of how quickly things can turn to shit. You're going from 1 minute, it's like, yeah, things are okay. Next minute it's like, oh, well, the shops are closed. Next minute it's like, oh, there's soldiers on the street. And next minute is a soldier is just a guy with a gun. And he's got one and you don't. He's not your friend. He doesn't know you. If you should read some of the survivor stories of people in Yugoslavia, people that have gone through war zones. You have no idea how fast human society breaks down to like worse than animal level when the shit hits the fan. And people are not ready for that. They don't know. They just get eaten alive. And that's not going to be my case, but most human beings just haven't got a clue. There's a thin veneer of civilization that is just keeping us under the illusion that we're not wild animals that will literally stab each other in the face for a piece of bread, because that's what it boils down to when it's bad, And again, oh, by the way, I gotta say to Owen, well done. I saw his pieces of his last video, and he calmed himself down. Has admitted that he doesn't know anything. That after all, he's just a comedian, and his job is to make people laugh and whatever, and that's good. It's good, when a guy can turn around that quickly on something he was so convinced and just own up and say, yeah, I don't know anything. I'm sure you had a little chat with Vox and maybe saw my video or whatever, but that's, you gotta give a little bit of leeway. Everybody makes mistakes, everybody fucks up, but most people are unwilling to just flat out admit, yeah, I kind of panicked, that was wrong, it's not helpful what I was doing, and he's pretty much done that, so that's cool. And and he said like, oh, his wife is pregnant, so he was like stressing about that. That's even sort of less reason to stress. My wife is pregnant. We're not stressing about it at all, because again, it's I've got like friends, family. My dad even, he's in his 70s, and he's got a lot of anxiety and stress and whatnot. This comes from wrong attitude for many years. Then you get addicted to like being stressed, and it's not good for you. It's not good for anybody else. So you gotta just chill out. And it's important that you're able to control yourself, your emotions, your spirit, your impetus, your energy. Depends on you. It's all under your control. I haven't done it in a while now, because I haven't trained in a while now, but when I was training, I can still control my heartbeat to a certain extent. I can make it go faster, slower, I can do that. But you could control it to the point where you can change the coloration of your hands. You can actually increase blood flow to a specific area of your body or decrease it. And what people don't understand is that you've got an autonomic nervous system which makes you breathe, it keeps your heart beating and all that. And it's automatic, you don't have to think about it. But that doesn't mean that you can't affect it consciously. You can. It takes practice, it takes a lot of training, or, it's not something you learn in one day or anything like that. But they've done tests on Buddhist monks, on martial artists, and there's people that can even control their reflex response. If you hear a really loud banging noise, like dang, there's like something inside your body like twitches. And even if you don't twitch physically, there's a part of your brain that reacts to that. There are people that are so much in control of their own body that don't react to that, even when they're hooked up to machines, that measure like electrocardiograms and like brain waves and all sorts. And they're able to control themselves almost like in a meditative trance state, and they can do that. I don't need to go to those extremes, but you should be able to control your own emotions, your own things. And if you can't, oh, by the way, that's another thing I got today. See, I'd given my combat rosary to Immortal Nameless Bear. He's got basically an identical copy of this, I think, because I gave him mine. And then I ordered myself another one, but I thought I'll never get here before they stop posting stuff. But I got it today, and it's like I said the last time, it's really good because it's made of paracord and metal. So if your prayers don't get answered right away and you need to take somebody out, it's a good Gadrot. Remember, that's not blasphemous. That's the right attitude for a proper Catholic. So yeah, I'm quite happy that I got this just in time, so I can say my rosary properly. And if you do have anxiety problems, try the rosary. Just check it out. It's, again, I'm not gonna. It doesn't matter if you believe, don't believe. Some people, Buddhists or whatever, they go Namen Genge Reikyo, whatever the hell they say. It's kind of like meditative, But if you say the Ave Maria in whatever language you say it, whether it's Italian or English or Latin or whatever, and as you say it, even if you're not really thinking about the words, although you should, it's better if you do, but even as you say it in a language that's comfortable for you, the words sink in. And as they sink in, you start to realize, oh, grace. What is grace? Hail Mary, full of grace. And then you start to think, oh, grace. Do I have grace? Can I feel grace? And I don't know exactly how it works, right? But it works. It does calm you down. It does give you a sense of peace. So it doesn't matter whether you're Catholic or not. Give it a shot. Again, the point is, it doesn't matter what the underlying ideology or philosophy of the model is. If the model works, use it until you find a better model. If you don't find a better model, stick with it. And I haven't found a better model. This just works. And by the way, I tested this before, long before I was any kind of a believer, or certainly any kind of a Christian, or a Catholic or baptized or anything like that. I tested this years ago in training. There's exercises where you hold your breath, or you do certain things without breathing, or you just have to do some whatever strenuous, painful exercise or whatever. And I discovered, and the one of the instructors was saying, oh, you should pray, and most of them are Russian Orthodox. So they say, oh, you should just say, Lord, have mercy. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a bitch move to me, Lord, have mercy. Why the fuck should he have mercy on me? Why am I so special? Nah, it didn't work for me. And I did. I tried it. Said, Lord, have mercy. Nah, doesn't. I could do the same amount of work whether I said that or not. Then I thought, okay, but it's probably because those words don't work for me. What if I try something else? Now you got to keep in mind, I wasn't catechized. I didn't know jack, right? I didn't even know Hail Mary, which is it's a short prayer. I mean, in English, I don't know if I know it in English, but I'll give it a shot. It's like, Hail Mary, full of grace, God is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and in the hour of our death. So it's a short prayer, but I didn't know it. The only thing I knew was the beginning of it. Hail Mary, full of grace. That's it. That's all I knew, okay? Probably from hearing it somewhere on a TV or something. Actually, I do know, I think where I probably learned that from was a film with Robert Redford in it. It was about the Second World War. I don't remember the name of the film, but there's a scene where they're trying to cross a river in these little rubber boats, and they're getting the shit shot out of them. And And as they're going, he's just saying, Hail Mary, full of grace, Hail Mary, full of grace, until they get to the other side. And I don't know, it was a scene that stuck with me. So probably that's where I knew just that one line from. So in training, I tried it. I said, okay, fine, I can do whatever, 78 push-ups doing it this way. And then the next day I'll try it. Okay, now I'm going to do 78. And it was always around whatever. I don't remember what the exercise was or whatever. But they reached a point where I couldn't do any more. And then I tried it with the Lord have mercy, no difference. But when I said, Hail Mary, full of grace, I could go an extra couple of bits, I could do a bit more. And I wrote about this in the Systema book. I explained what it was. And you got to keep in mind, even when I wrote the book, I was absolutely not Christian in any way, shape, or form, really. Although I talk about agnostic Christianity in there a little bit, but I certainly wasn't. I didn't consider myself a practicing Christian of any kind. And yet I found that it worked, and I explained it in a physiological way, saying, well, maybe when you're doing that, you're sort of giving up your control to something bigger than yourself, even if it's just to say, well, I'm letting go, I'm letting go. And when you let go, you release a bit more tension, and that gives you that extra little bit of energy or muscles or whatever it is that lets you work. And that is certainly a physiological explanation, which I don't think is incorrect. But the fact is that it has an effect. So how it works, why it works, I wasn't Christian then. I still did it because it's like, oh, okay, it makes it better, it makes it easier. So this is the same. It doesn't matter whether you believe in the Rosary, Mary, whatever. And for all the Protestants out there, no, Catholics, do not worship Mary. It's not what it's about. And I don't care for all those idiot binary Calvinistic thinkers that say, yes you do, yes you do. No, we don't. You're just too stupid to understand, and that's fine. But it does work, and nobody knows when the end times are, but certainly starting to look a little bit like it. So, we do have a pedophile in the seat of Peter. We do have a kind of a plague going on. We don't know how bad it is yet, but it's interesting times. So yeah, my day 4 of the apocalypse is pretty good. Kids are having more fun. It's nice to be at home with the family. It's good. It's all good. I hope you're doing equally well. And, if not, again, pray, and do what you can. Not everybody's got it easy. Some people have got it pretty tough. And some people are panicking who really have it easy and they're still panicking. So, whatever your situation is, it's not hopeless. You're still breathing, there's still hope. So, good luck to you all. And I should check in whenever with my next video diary, unless the zombies get me. But that would take a lot of zombies. So I reckon I'll see you again soon. Good night.